Here we go. This Ontario Superior Court, mother doesn't have to get the Fauci juice for her kid against the father's wishes. Great arguments by the judge. I just want to read a few sections from this decision because I saw it on Twitter. I saw it in a screen grab. And it's not that I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. So I had to pull up the decision, and it's funny. It does not read like a typical judgment. Here it is. Boom shakalaka. We all see this. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyhow. I just told you what I'm doing. Just making sure the screen is fine. All right. So not getting into it. Bottom line, family law dispute, all disgusting, soul-crushing, stomach-churning garbage of law. I don't say garbage of law in terms of, it's the most soul-crushing and devastating practice of law. And in family law, they take lawfare to the next level, and they take COVID lawfare to the next level. We've seen a bunch of these decisions. What's up? Do I like that? What is it? Let me see it around. Turn around. India Pale Ale? No, thank you.
Oh, I wanted to make a beer commercial.
No. Okay. Pale Ale. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to read the first few paragraphs. The judge, her name is A. Pazarats. When did it become illegal to ask questions, especially in the courtroom? And when did it become unfashionable for judges to receive answers, especially when children's lives are at stake? How did we lower our guard and let the words, quote, unacceptable beliefs, end quote, get paired together? In a democracy on the scales of justice, this is an obvious jab at Justin Trudeau. But the world in which we live now is the obvious result when you have leaders, when you have people like Justin Trudeau in positions of power. Should judges sit back as the concept of, quote, judicial notice gets hijacked from a rule of evidence to a substitute for evidence? I mean, I love this because we've been talking about this for a while. These judges, we've read the decisions coming out of New York, Chicago, where they're denying visitation rights. They're depriving parents of custody for refusal to get the Fauci juice. And they are citing as judicial notice evidence which is highly disputable or disputed in the first place. But they cite it as judicial notice. I don't want to get into it now, but we've talked about it. Everyone knows that V's are good, and everyone knows this. Everyone knows that Omicron is everyone knows this, and therefore a father not getting vaccinated is sufficient grounds to deny him visitation of his own kids. Everyone knows it. Judicial notice. This is paragraph 5, and is misinformation even a real word? Or has it become a crass, self-serving tool to preempt scrutiny and discredit your opponent? My goodness, I could have written this, but I would never ascend to the position of a judge at this point in my life. I think I've probably upset too many people in politics. Nor would I would not want to have to be a judge, sitting here listening to these cases of parents fighting over their kids and invoking the Fauci juice as a weapon of lawfare to deprive one parent of decision-making rights with respect to the kids. To delegitimize questions and strategically avoid giving answers. Blanket denials are almost never acceptable in our adversarial system. Each party always has the onus to prove their case, and yet, quote, misinformation has crept into the courtroom lexicon. A childish but sinister way of saying, you're so wrong, I don't even have to explain why you're wrong. This is amazing. Actually, I'm reading a lot of this for the first time. What does any of this have to do with the court order? Sadly, these days, it has everything to do with family court. Because when a society demonizes and punishes anyone who disagrees or even dares to ask a really important question, the resulting polarization, disrespect, and simmering anger can have devastating consequences for the mothers, fathers, and children I deal with on a daily basis. This is a judge who is having the network moment. This judge is mad as hell and is not going to take it anymore. This is a judge who sees this. I mean, we talk about it. We go over cases from time to time, and it irks me and it turns my stomach. This judge is now sitting in a courtroom. Family law is dirty lawfare to begin with, but the weapon of war in family lawfare has now become COVID issue, and this judge has just had enough by the sounds of it. It's becoming harder for family court judges to turn enemies into friends when governments are so recklessly turning friends into enemies. My goodness, this is poetry. It's becoming harder for family court judges to turn enemies into friends when governments are so recklessly turning friends into enemies. The motion before me is typical and frightening example of how far we are drifting from cherished values. You can read that. I'll leave it up for 30 seconds, but the rest it doesn't even matter. Just a good ruling and a judge saying it like it is, using. I want to say the judge is a woman, but I don't know. Mr. Justice hold on. Is this judge's first name actually Justice? Or is it Justice? Because the Honorable Mr. Okay, I don't know if the title is Justice of a judge. Beautiful. I'll actually link this. I'll link this in the pinned comments so you can read it on your own. Beautiful. Is there a link to it? Oh, here, I can actually just share the link right now. Boom. That should be in there. Yep. So that was just a beautiful decision. I'm scrolling down the chat. So that's just a beautiful decision. I mean, I guess we want to end this on a white pill moment. We'll see. First of all, great avatar. We'll see. Sadly, this judge's decision will probably be overturned. It did not read like a typical judgment, but it read like poetry. It read like, I'm going to talk directly to Justin Trudeau and other divisive like politicians. Jagmeet Singh, looking your way here. Did a good job following the convoy in Ottawa, Viva. So go to Ukraine and let us see what's really going on. Just saying is all. I'm reading this with humor and good nature and not as calling me a hypocrite for not going to Ukraine. Dude, first of all, I said it from the beginning. I'm not a journalist, but I'm also travel is not realistic for me. But Sean Penn is there. Sean Penn's on the ground doing it. So that is it. Look, we'll end it on that white pill moment, and I'm just going to see if on Rumbles, if I missed any super chats, Rumble rants. I did. I see one here. Rumble rant from Ropes Guy says, only one reason to support Ukraine. If Putin loses here or struggles greatly, China will be much less likely to invade Taiwan. Retired analyst here. I've heard that theory as well. If Putin succeeds with Crimea, if Putin succeeds with the Donbass region, China will feel empowered in Taiwan. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Someone said, don't kid yourself. You're a journalist down here. I'm not. I'm an analyst. I just want to understand the world. And maybe that's what journalism is all about. Cassidy the Carpenter says, the people want footage. Let me go on your behalf to Ukraine. Second time offering. Well, dude, contact Rebel News. I have no doubt Rebel News would. I mean, they would pay you. They would. I have no doubt. Contact Rebel News, Cassidy. I just, threshold for danger is one thing. I don't travel for fun. My wife her friend had a destination wedding in Mexico. I'm so neurotic. I didn't go. Okay. That's how neurotic I am. So, I'm not going to war zones on purpose.